experiences of a lifetime, observed and felt by the senses, transmitted to, then stored by the brain. It's said, experience teaches. If so, how do these lessons affect the brain, its size, shape, and chemistry? Up to a few years ago, it was a scientific certainty that the brain could not be anatomically changed by experience. But now, that certainty is being challenged by a team of researchers at the University of California at Berkeley, with the assistance of grants from the National Science Foundation. Experiments conducted for more than 10 years with laboratory animals show that the brains of animals kept for a few weeks in an environment rich in sensory experience grow larger and heavier than the brains of animals deprived of these experiences.
These studies are, of course, made in rodents, and it is quite a jump from rodent to man. However, we do believe that the studies made in rodents will have bearing on the mechanisms by which memory processes are occurring in humans.
I was recently asked by a journalist what I considered to be the single most important aspect of our research project. And I think the fact that the brain responds to environment is the most important aspect. It's measurably responsive. No matter what age we work with an animal in an enriched or impoverished environment, the brain has been shown to change.
3 male animals are selected from a litter. One is placed in an enriched environment. This consists of a large cage housing many companions and various playthings that are changed daily. The second one is placed in an impoverished environment. No companions, just food and water. The third animal is placed in a standard laboratory environment. 2 companions, food and water.
We've found that experience has measurable effects on the brains of our animals, both anatomically and chemically. We also find that experience affects their learning behavior. What we'd like to do is link these together, see what the relationships are between changes in the brain and changes in learning ability.
Behavioral testing provides the first areas of comparison. The animals from the enriched environment usually learn the intricacies of a maze much more rapidly. They also prove to be more curious and adventurous. But more significantly, the brains of the animals from the enriched environment are larger and heavier. There is increased activity of the enzymes in the brain, those molecules that help chemical reactions take place. The nerve cells grow larger and are more fully developed. More ribonucleic acid, or RNA, a link in the cell's genetic and growth chain, is produced.
For one thing, if we knew more about how memories are stored in the brain, we ought to be able, eventually, to get at certain impairments of behavior. For example, mental retardation, or, on the other hand, problems of learning that occur with senility. There are interesting effects of drugs that we don't understand very well. Some drugs actually aid learning ability, at least temporarily. With other drugs, a person can learn something while he's under the influence of the drug, and once the drug is gone, that memory has vanished. It isn't laid down permanently, and we'd like to know why this happens. Again, there are the effects of malnutrition. We know that this affects the brain. We know that, especially in children, it affects learning ability. We'd like to know more why and how this happens. If we understood it better, we might be able to remedy these cases better.
I think the fact that the brain responds is very comparable to the fact that the muscle will respond. With use, the muscle will grow, and with use, the brain seems to grow.
Perhaps, as we, as many other researchers, find out more about brain processes in learning and memory, it may be possible for the population as a whole to lift, to enhance ability to learn and to remember.